Beauty Bees, Chrishell Stause here, and today I'm going to walk you through my personal foundation routine, and I'm going to kind of give you some tips to use for yourself along the way. So I personally use Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. You can use whichever kind you like best for yourself. I also always have two colors on hand because I'm always a little darker, a little lighter, depending on, you know, the weather outside and what time of year it is. So I'm always mixing two colors to get the right optimum color I want. So I suggest you guys always have two colors, so it always helps. So also, if you want, MAC makes a really good, it's called Lustre Drops. It's a really good illuminizer, and you can just add like a little drop in and mix it into your foundation, or you can keep it on the side and just like pat it in later on top of your cheekbone. But it's also a nice touch. I know everyone talks about that J-Lo glow. This will help you get that. Any kind of luminizer like that. So the next step, I'm gonna take a beauty blender. You can use any kind of sponge. I like this technique because it helps apply the foundation without it being too thick. And you can see your own skin through it. It doesn't wear like a mask. So always get it wet. That's the one thing people don't always do, but you must get the beauty blender wet or it will not have the right effect. So get it wet, wring it out. All right, and then I'm just gonna take like a little paper towel and just kind of get the excess water out of it. So you basically want a damp sponge to do this. So now I've got my product here. I'm just gonna do a little twirl, mix it around, all right? And then we are ready to go. So just dip it in. I'm just gonna start right here. And you just wanna blend it in. You don't want it to be too heavy. That's what helps with the sponge. It's almost foolproof if you apply foundation with a wet sponge. Now, of course, if you have certain problem areas that you want more coverage on, then once you go through on your whole face the way I'm doing it now, then you would just go back in and hit those spots a little, you know, more on those spots. You would hit them a little more and get a little more coverage on specific spots. But that way your whole face doesn't wear like a mask and it doesn't feel too heavy. I'm just gonna put this on. Just so you know, I started with moisturized skin, which always helps. And then blend it in. Always go past your jawline, which is another reason why this sponge helps, because you never want that line on your jaw. That's one of my pet peeves in life. So always bring it down, all the way down. And so you see it's really quick. The sponge is like super fast. But like I said, so you do it like that, but then if you have some problem areas, then you go back in and you hit them a little extra, wherever you think you want a little more coverage. So use whatever kind of concealer you want. This, I use Bobbi Brown because I like that it has concealer on one side and a powder on the other, which is kind of convenient. It's very important that you use a concealer brush. Not all brushes are created equal. You want a really dense packed brush that's specifically made for concealer because it will help you pack the product in exactly where you want it. And a cool trick I learned on set actually is throughout the day and you smile and you put powder underneath, you'll see the concealer starts to build up under your eye and it actually sometimes makes you look older, and that's the opposite effect of what you're trying to do. So what I do is once your makeup's already set, put your middle fingers like this, warm it up on your face, let it warm, and then gently blend the makeup back into your face like that. That's just a trick as your day's worn on and your makeup's kind of settling into your lines. So after the concealer's on, now we're gonna set it with powder. Very important. I have this brush. I'm I would say packing it in there pretty densely. And not so much brushing, but patting it into the concealer. All right. This powder sets everything. So now we also want to set our foundation. And I use Makeup Forever HD High Definition Powder. You can use whatever setting powder you like best. But don't forget, if I were to just put this foundation on and leave it like that, it's not going to last. so you have to set it with powder. And some people don't like powder. This is a really finely milled powder. I would suggest getting one. And just, if you want to, just really light dust over it to set it. But if you have oily skin, you want to do the opposite. You want to take like a spongy kind of, I would say like a sponge like this, and you want to pack it into the sponge, and then you want to set it into your face and press the powder in, especially in your T-zone if you're a little more oily. So that's how I set my T-zone, right like that. And then if you want lighter, you just brush it on with the brush, and that's it. So now you have a great base to put on color and go with whatever look you're wanting to do, but I feel like good makeup starts with a good base. So stay connected. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel.
And follow us on Facebook and Twitter.